Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I have for you a pick a card based on what is going to be coming up next for you. So this is timeless whenever you see it. It is going to be from now, and I'm going to say until about the next month or so. But, don't put too much of like a hard constraint on timing. I realize that in our world, timing works a little bit different than on like the astrals or the spiritual plane. So don't put so much of a constraint on the time concept, but from now until the next little while, what is going to be coming for you next, basically. And when I say coming for you, I mean that in a good way. Like what is going to be coming up for you. I feel like when you say it like that, what's coming for you, it's like this is like, I don't know, it could have a negative infliction, but just know that I'm not meaning to put any negative on that. So if you already know how pick a cards work, I'll let you know that this is pile number 1 and it has a black candle on it, pile number 2, which has a blue candle, and pile number 3, which has a yellow candle. And we'll get to those candle parts, obviously, with each reading. I feel like I'm so out of practice. I haven't recorded in almost a 10-day period. And I'm like, wait, what am I doing? I'm really happy to be here today, though, as I'm sure those of you that are empathic can really tell. So if you are if you are new to pick a cards, basically I'm going to give you a little bit of a rundown of how they work and give you a couple of little like notes on that. And then I'll give you some time to meditate with the cards as well, which I always put all of the timestamps down below for you. So if you want to just jump to meditating with the cards, you can do that. Or if you want to listen to what we got to say here, you can do that. It's totally up to you. But basically the one thing I always want to say before I ever go through into a reading is that please know that I don't control your destiny or fate, and neither do these cards. I am reading off of your current energy. You have the ability to change it. If you don't like what is being said, or you are feeling a certain way and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to go down that path, you have the full potential to change that. So just know that like this doesn't like seal your fate in any kind of way. There are multiple potentials that you could draw into at any given moment. So I'm just reading with the current energy that is present now. The second thing to know is that you're never going to choose wrong. So many people say like, I don't know what to choose, or how do you choose, or what if I chose the wrong pile? You can choose more than one pile. You can choose all three. Some people will watch the video from start to finish. Some people will just choose one based off of their intuition. And if you're having trouble choosing, you can choose based off of the candle colors, the card colors. There's some differentiation, it looks like. You can just use your intuition when we get to meditating. You can also look at the timestamps down below and see if any of your lucky numbers are present. I always know when a pick a card is made for me, like if I'm watching somebody else, I always know that that is my pile if my lucky number is present. And that actually happened today. I was watching somebody's pick a card and my lucky number was present on the pile that I had chosen. So it was very cool. So you can do it that way, or any way that really like gravitates to you. Those are just some suggestions. So I'm going to go ahead and be quiet and allow you some time to meditate with these card piles, and then we'll get into it. All right, pile number 1, welcome in. So first and foremost, if you chose this pile, you chose the black candle. And I did go ahead and put this in a holder for us. And black candles actually represent protection. I personally would not set really any other intentions with a black candle. I mean, you can literally use whatever candle color you want. That's just my personal and professional opinion. I would set an intention for some kind of protection, or if you've been feeling like there's negative or stagnant energy around you, just kind of asking for that to be released. You can also use black candles to reverse hexes and curses, things like that. So I would say, like, if you're feeling maybe like your energy is just like at like a low point, you can also ask for that to kind of be lifted. To me, it's really about protection and kind of reversing anything negative that you don't want. So think about those things. Like I said, you do not have to listen to that part. You can just truly do whatever you want. If there's like money you want to set intention for, love, friendships, career, anything you want, you don't have to listen to the color stuff, but I always give that in case any of you are wanting like assistance on what to set intention for. So go ahead and think of that intention now. And if there is like a certain thing that maybe I did or did not mention here, and you want to still try to correspond it to the black color candle, you can also ask for anything that's like blocking your path to be lifted out. That like maybe money has been like really hard to come by for you. So you would ask for that blockage if there is one to be removed or maybe to be made aware of it. Same with everything else. So go ahead and put your left and right hands over your heart, because as humans, the highest vibration we can attune our energy to is the vibration of love. So when we call in that love energy from our heart chakra, from our heart space, what we're doing is we're actually aligning our intentions with us, and we're doing it from a heart-centered place. And when we do that, it allows the intention to come in faster and like perfectly for us. So go ahead and put your left and right hands over your heart. And we're just going to take one big, deep belly breath in through the nose and out through the mouth on your intention together. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and light this for us, and we're going to see what happens. Ooh. I don't know how well you could see from that angle, but basically the candle got really, 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 really small. I actually thought it was going to burn out, but it got really small. And when it hit the wax, it didn't really pop. Like I thought it was going to pop at first, because sometimes that happens as soon as the flame goes from the like longer wick down to the wax, it will like pop up. And that didn't really happen. It kind of started with a very slow, intentional burn. And so I feel like for you, that's kind of how the energy of this is going to manifest for you. Whatever you've asked for, it's going to just kind of start out very slow and build upon itself, kind of like a routine. Like if you're starting a new routine or a new habit, you have to start kind of small and let that build up. So just keep that in mind. We're going to go ahead and put this candle right up here in the corner for us so we can keep our eye on it in the reading and see if the flame like interacts with us at all. And then let's go ahead and see what cards we have. So we do have the Ace of Wands. I love this card. I feel like we can't really see it very well in the lighting I have right now. We have the Hanged Man. These cards also kind of have like a metallic finish to them. So like, do you see what I mean? Actually, you know what? That's kind of nice. Maybe I should start showing you the cards more like that. So we also have the Hanged Man. We also have the Three of Wands for you. I love the art of these cards. Like if I could be a tarot deck, this would be me. And the Seven of Pentacles. All right, so right off the bat, what these four cards really kind of depict the story of for me is they're saying that there's new energy that wants to come in to support you. Your spirit guides right off the bat are telling me, hey, we want to support you. There's a new creative energy that wants to manifest in your life. And right now, you might feel like your energy is very stagnant. Like you haven't felt creative. You haven't really felt like you've wanted to do anything. And I'm hearing from spirit that this might have been happening. If you're watching this when this video goes live, this maybe has been happening since like late December for you, that you felt really uninspired and you've kind of like tried to set New Year's resolutions, or you've tried to set goals, or you've tried to evaluate your life, because the Seven of Pentacles to me is also really about evaluation. And you've just really felt stagnant. Like there's been no spark of creativity. There's been no spark of movement. And even the things that you've tried to do, it's just kind of faltered. And I'm not trying to tell you that spirit is saying you failed, because I know we've talked about this on this channel before. Failure doesn't even exist. It's an opportunity for us to learn something from our past mistakes or things that aren't working out, so we can kind of push through them. Oh, sorry about that. My computer's making noises. But basically, I feel like many of you have been feeling very like stuck. I feel like the Seven of Pentacles often kind of depicts that too, that it's a very like stuck, slow, stagnant energy that we don't really like to find ourselves in. The Hanged Man can feel difficult. And I feel like even in this deck, like every deck kind of reads a little bit different, but with this Hanged Man, you see where he's like trying to either string himself up higher or possibly even trying to get himself down. And I feel like that has maybe been your energy. You've been really trying to change it, to change the direction you're going, to get a little bit more movement out of life. And you've just kind of not been able to do it. And Spirit wants you to know that the reason that this is happening right now is because it's meant to expand you internally. Maybe like business prospects or things that you've been trying to make advancements on, or it could even be like health goals, I'm hearing. I know a lot of people in the month of January will start on like new health routines. And what Spirit is really saying is that this is meant to expand you internally. There's something internally that is asking to be heard, felt, and seen so that you can make the changes that you want to make in your life. And the creativity will come. I feel like if you just surrender to what is happening at this time, like if you're tired, go take a nap. That literally happened to me today. It's so funny how like when I read cards, I feel like I'm very in sync with the energy that comes out in them. I feel like if you're attracted to like the way a certain a card reader reads, it often is because the energies that you have are like very compatible, or you're going through similar things. Because like when I read, it's almost like I get a healing and you get a healing at the same time. So, it's so funny that this is coming up though, that Spirit is like, hey, tell them about this. This happened literally today. I got up at like 6 o'clock in the morning. I worked out. I read like 45 pages of a book, and I had every intention of sitting down and recording this video before 10 a.m. And I was just so tired by the time that I got to my desk at like 8 o'clock. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go take a nap. And I never nap. I am not a nap person. I napped for an hour. I woke up and I felt fabulous. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to go read cards. I feel great. My energy is so uplifted from where I was an hour ago. So I feel like that's really what Spirit is saying, is like, surrender to this feeling. Surrender to this. If you're feeling like you're falling short, like nothing is moving, like you're not progressing the way that you want to, stop trying to push ahead. There's a reason that you're being stopped. So we also have for you the 4th house of roots. We have Aquarius, I know. And we have the 6th house of routine. Ooh, I love that. Okay, so with the 4th house and the 6th house coming out, the 4th house is ruled by Cancer. The 6th house is ruled by Virgo. And we'll talk about Aquarius, I know, in a moment. But with the 4th and the 6th house, what I'm really hearing from Spirit is that Spirit wants you to actually take a look at where your routines are right now. Something about the routine that you have, especially my self-employed babies. Like, obviously, I understand not everybody is self-employed that is here. Many of you have jobs outside of the home, or maybe you're working from home for like a corporation or something. But my self-employed babies, it's very important that you have a routine and stick with it. And it's going to be difficult at first, especially if you're not used to having a routine. And especially those of you that are also at home, maybe you're not used to being at home and this is like a new thing for you. And you've just kind of been like waking up around noon, watching Netflix all day, and then doing nothing else. Like, don't get me wrong, there is definitely a time and a place for that, and it is okay to give yourself a break. But if you're not feeling good about what is happening in your life right now, it's time to reevaluate that. It's time to take up that 7 of Pentacles, reevaluate where you currently are, and ask yourself what routines you would like to have. You know, do you want to be an early riser? Do you want to be more health conscious? Do you want to have more of a workout routine? Do you want to have more of a business routine? If you're working from home, is there something you want to do in a certain amount of time every day? And Spirit is saying that you need to design this routine to be realistic. There is, I feel like, a lot of unrealistic expectation that maybe somebody else gave to you, maybe the world. A lot of this I feel like comes from social media. We see people like going after their gains, and you only see the highlight reel of how like well someone is doing. You don't actually see all the hard work it took to get there all the time. And so Spirit is saying whatever routine you decide to pull together for yourself right now, it needs to have time for you to rest. So kind of like that example I gave with like taking a nap right in the middle of your morning, if you're able to do that. Granted, I know that's not realistic for everyone. But if you're able to do that, make time to surrender more to how your body is feeling. Even though we love being up on the astrals, we love talking about all this like spiritual stuff that is very connected to you because it is us and we are it. You have to remember that you're still human and you still have a physical vessel, and we have to honor that humanness as well. And to be honest, I guess we're bringing some views in here too a little bit, but it is my personal opinion that we shouldn't even be working the way that our society does. We shouldn't even be, and granted, I'm not the person that's going to fix this for the world, but I feel like the more I can kind of put it out into consciousness of maybe even considering that we could do it differently, we don't really allow people to have the rest that their human vessel needs. I think there's been like studies that have even been done where they've let people work less hours, but paid them the same, and the same amount of work gets done. But like, we're just basically overworking everyone. And so if you are able to design your schedule, like I said, granted, I know that's not going to be for everybody. There are plenty of people that do not design their own schedules. But if you are able to make time for more rest, make more time for your family, make more time for your home, because that's what the fourth house is about. It's about your roots, your family, whether it be distant or close, or your own like made family. This can be friendships too, if you feel like you don't really have family support, but you have friendship circles. But really designing a routine that includes those. And then we also have this Aquarius I know energy here. And I love Aquarius because true words are, I'm sorry for all y'all that don't like Aquarians, but I think we all just need to accept that Aquarius is the best sign in the zodiac. I myself am not even an Aquarius, nor do I have any major, I think my only major Aquarius placement is in Saturn, which hello, Saturn return. But we all just need to accept that Aquarius is the best sign in the zodiac. I love Aquarian people. Probably is if I could pick a singular favorite, though I love everybody, Aquarius is probably my favorite. I just love the way that they think. But with Aquarius, I know being here, this to me is, we have to ask ourselves, what is Aquarius all about? Aquarius is the humanitarian. They want better for the world, but they're also really highly independent people. And so many of you, this has come up in past readings with me as well, if you've been a longtime viewer. I want you to really evaluate the relationships in your life and ask yourself if they are serving you. And it doesn't mean that you don't also feed energy to them. There has to be that equal exchange. But what Spirit is really telling me with this is Aquarius is so highly independent that it's really important for Aquarius to have relationships that allow that level of independence. If you feel like you're making decisions based off of what other people in your life are making you do or are forcing, I don't even want to say making, but maybe you feel forced to make certain decisions based on who you are with or who you spend a lot of time around. Because what we know is you are the sixth person. If you spend all of your time around 5 people that are really lazy and judgmental and toxic and gossip a lot, and these are just things I'm throwing out there, but you're going to become the 6th person that's like that. And I don't think I even realized how true those words were until I got into my adulthood and started choosing my friendship circles more diligently, how true that is, how easy it is to get trapped in that loop with other people. And it's the same with family. It doesn't have to be friends either. Family can also be very toxic. And Spirit is saying, don't just clean up your home space, your mental space, your workspace, and design routines. clean up your friendship circles, clean up the people that you spend your time around. And it's not always easy. And it doesn't mean that you have to go out there and be like, hey, I don't want to be your friend anymore, or I need to cut you off. Like if that works for you, go for it. But if it doesn't and you want to take a gentler approach, you can just start putting a little bit more space between you and that person. And it doesn't mean you have to be a ghost, just, making less and less and less time for that person or people. Spirit really wants you to know that like you might even be somebody that is highly sensitive or empathic, and you pick up those energies and you in turn become that person, and it's not who you want to be. So, and this also goes for like, maybe you feel like you don't have a tribe that you really want to have right now. Know that like it can be mentors in books, it can be seminars, it can be like documentaries, however you spend your time feeding your mind. If it's people, like I said, you'll become the sixth. But if you don't feel like you have that tribe that you're desiring, find it in authors, in books, in other sources, and you will become like those things. Whatever you're feeding your mind, you will become. So let's go ahead and see what else we have here. We also have clean it up. Oh my goodness. I literally just talked about cleaning up like the space and the clutter. We have serendipity and regeneration. I love this. Okay. So with clean it up, this is about the physical space in particular, especially because it came out over the 4th house. So if you've been trying to like maybe even manifest like a new home, a new living situation, you need to take a good look at the house that you're in currently, or the apartment or the condo, whatever, your bedroom, if you just have a room, and clean it out. Like anything that shouldn't be there, that I don't want to say like that doesn't spark joy, because I think sometimes like we do have to keep some things out of necessity because we're not ready to replace those things. Like don't go out and throw your whole wardrobe away if you can't afford at this time to replace it. We need to be realistic about certain things, but, with clean it up, this is about cleaning up your space, your mental space, your physical space, and the spaces that you hold with relationships. And with serendipity coming out over the Aquarius card, this to me says that when you start to clean up those friendship circles, be more independent and not make decisions based on the people around you, you're actually going to fatefully meet someone that fits what you've been looking for. And this could be a romantic partner for some of you, but it also could just be a friendship or a long, like a family member that you haven't connected with in a while. But it's going to be very serendipitous that like this was meant to happen, and it was just waiting for you to make the space for it to happen. And then with regeneration, this is perhaps one of my most favorite cards in this deck. Regeneration talks all about like kind of letting yourself burn to the ground so that you can start to build new. So if you feel like you've really been stuck and you've been struggling and suffering, as I kind of stated above, surrender to that process. The faster you surrender and let the flames kind of lick away what is not supposed to be there, you can start to build something brand new from those ashes. And it sounds so like, I don't want you to take that and run with it like I'm trying to damn what you're going through or what you're about. I honestly see that regeneration as a beautiful thing. Even in fires that kill down forests, there's beauty in that fire. And that's really what Spirit is asking you to see, like even in the moments of heartbreak. I know that Leo or Alexandra, if y'all follow her, she's fabulous, another creator here on YouTube. She just put out a video maybe a couple of weeks ago that was about heartbreak and how like there is beauty in heartbreak and what it actually gives to you. And I will link that video down below for you because it was so powerful, even for me. I'm not even going through a relationship heartbreak or anything like that, but that video still gave something to me when I watched it. I was like, wow, like I cried. And I was like, this is so beautiful. So it's asking you to kind of let yourself surrender to the process, clean everything up, and allow yourself to be like, to rise again. And lastly, I do have perfect timing and helpful people. So you really are, pile number 1, you really are about to meet somebody that's going to be important to your life, because you even got the helpful people card. This is somebody that is really going to come in and show you that they are not like everybody else, and that you can have meaningful, true, beautiful relationships that are meant for you. And with perfect timing, it's like they're going to come in the nick of time. Like right when you feel like it's not going to happen, or you're about to give up, or you're losing hope, that's when this is going to happen. And it's meant to really instill your faith in spirit, in your guides, in whatever that is for you, universe, God, however you see it. It's really to reignite your faith in that and believe that you are connected to that beautiful source energy so that you can create whatever it is in your life that you desire. So I love all of this for you, pile number one. I hope that this message reaches you well. Please know that all of the cards are listed down below in the order that they appear. I always link them for you in case you want to purchase decks for yourself. And also, please, please, please follow me over on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitch. I will have announcements coming up for Twitch. We started streaming in the beginning of the year. We're already changing the whole way it's being done. And I actually think you over here on this channel, when I kind of announce it, I talked about it a little bit on Twitter. I have since deactivated my Twitter, so don't follow me on Twitter because you can't. I've just kind of decided that's a platform I don't really want to interact with. I feel like if you don't know this, like Twitter is an Aries, like every different social media platform has a birth chart that you can look into. And I feel like, not that I have an issue with Aries. I actually love Aries. I hope if I ever have a child, they come out with like dominant Aries placements. But I find that the platform can be a little bit too harsh for like highly sensitive people. So nothing even happened or anything like that. I just feel like it's not the platform that I want to spend all of my time on. So we have Instagram though, TikTok, and Twitch. There will be something really exciting. I'm hoping in Aquarius season, I'll be able to announce what we're doing over there. If not, then it will probably be the following season. It'll be in Pisces season. Definitely check all of those out. If this reading resonated with you and you would like to, it is never an expectation, but always appreciated. I have Cashapp, Venmo, and PayPal listed down below. If you'd like to tip me, again, I always appreciate it, but I don't expect it from you. And please remember, when you stand up in your own authenticity, you empower everyone around you to do the same. I love you so much, and I will speak to you again very, very soon. Bye. Hello, my beautiful pile number twos. If you chose this pile, you chose the blue candle, and blue candles actually represent our emotional well-being, as blue also corresponds to the element of water. So this also could be water signs, which is going to be Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer. So you might be wanting to attract one of those, or you might be one yourself. But blue to me, ultimately, whenever I light a blue candle for myself, usually it's for like emotional balance, emotional well-being. You do not have to go with any of those things that I have just suggested. You can set intention for whatever it is that you want, but go ahead and think of something you want to bring into your life at this time. Place your left and right hands over your heart, because we as humans, the highest vibration that we can attune our energy to is our heart center and our heart space. So, and that's right where the heart chakra is right there over our heart. So when we do this, we are actually bringing our intentions into alignment with us and making it so that they will not only show up faster, but as they're connected to our heart, they'll just be in perfect alignment with our desires. So let's go ahead, and we're just going to take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, a big deep belly breath on that intention. All right, I'm going to go ahead and light this for us, and we're just going to see what happens. And all right, I feel like the flame rose relatively quickly as soon as it hit the wax. I definitely feel like the flame is a little bit on the small side. I know it's hard to see from that angle, which tells me that some of you maybe have been feeling a little bit more down and out than normal, or maybe like your emotions have just been kind of like playing tricks on you. There hasn't been a lot of emotional balance going on, and Spirit wants you to know that it's okay to let yourself feel things. You know, it's okay to let yourself feel things, because you'll have more emotional fulfillment the more you dive in and meet yourself as deeply as you possibly can. You know, I feel like there's this really weird stigma around emotions that if you have them, you become sensitive. And sensitive is a beautiful thing. It's actually a compliment. When somebody tells you that you are too sensitive, I encourage you to tell them thank you, because when you're sensitive, it means that you have allowed yourself the emotional intelligence and capacity to meet yourself deeper than they have probably been able to meet themselves. And remember that people can only meet you as deeply as they've met themselves. So, don't even like harbor, if you can avoid it, harbor like hatred for them for saying these things. I don't know why this is coming out so strongly right now, but some of y'all must have really needed to hear it. Try not to harbor hatred for them. Know that they just haven't met themselves that deeply. They don't harbor the same emotional intelligence that you do. And the way that like they were raised or the experiences they've had in life, they just haven't had those same intimate moments that maybe you have experienced. And it doesn't make it okay for them to make fun of you or to hurt your feelings. I would never tell you that makes it okay. But it just know that I almost want to say they don't know better. Like, and just keep doing you. Keep being emotionally intelligent. Keep being sensitive. The world more now than ever needs you to be sensitive. So let's go ahead and just put this over here so we can still see what's going on. And let's go ahead and see what the cards have in store for you. So we have the Page of Cups. Oh, let me see if I can actually, in pile number 1, I actually sat and kind of showed the cards off. And I think that was helpful because these cards have a gold foiling on them. So it's kind of hard to see some of them. So we have the Page of Cups. We have the Three of Swords. We have the Seven of Cups. And we have the Knight of Wands. So I feel like what Spirit is saying right off the bat is your guides want you to know that you didn't do anything for things that hurt you to be happening. I feel like many of you are in this mentality right now that you are getting what you deserve and that this is happening because you have done something wrong in your past and now you have to pay for it. And Spirit is saying, actually, no, it's okay for you to delight in good things. It's okay for you to expect good things for your life. It's okay for you to, want more for yourself. And this, whatever this upset is, for some of you, it's like a very deep cut because the Three of Swords to me is like a very big indicator of heartbreak, of getting hurt by someone. But it can also not be that deep. Like for some of you, it might not be like this life-altering heartbreak. You could have just maybe suffered a small upset. But usually it's very transformational. Whatever comes out of this, it's meant to actually build you into someone that has higher emotional awareness. Because when you hit rock bottom, when you get hurt, and I just talked about this in pile number 1, when you experience heartbreak, there is actually something very beautiful in that. And I know it's hard to see when you're in the thick of it. Trust me, I've been there. I've had my heart broken. I've hit rock bottom several times. It's not fun. Nobody wants to experience that. It's gut-wrenching, and it truly feels like your heart is just being ripped out and dropped on the floor like it's glass. And not only that, sometimes stomped on and ran over after the fact. But there is beauty in it, and you will come to that. And Spirit just ultimately wanted you to know that you didn't do anything to deserve this. Whatever this thing is, you are a wonderful, magnificent, I'm getting like this very childlike essence. Like maybe you're somebody that really delights in like just simple moments in life, and your baseline, you're like very cheerful and happy, and that's who you are. And whatever has come along and really hurt you or affected you has maybe taken that essence away from you just for a time period, not forever. And you're feeling like, what did I do to deserve this? Who did I hurt? What karma did I create to deserve this? And Spirit wants you to know that you didn't do anything to deserve this. This is here because it's meant to upgrade you. It's meant to up-level your emotional awareness. And it allows you actually to relate to other people better because you have this level of awareness that other people maybe don't have. And with the Seven of Cups coming out, this card to me is like, one of the most fun and dangerous at the same time. The Seven of Cups is kind of the wild card in the tarot, where it very much is like it can be anything. It can be this, like you could be going down a path that is like your path of highest richness, or you could be going down a path that is more like difficult for you. But each path has its own lessons, and none of them are overtly wrong or bad. And I feel like Spirit also wants you to know that that's something strong that's coming out, is like, no matter what path you choose to take in life at this moment, none of them are bad. None of them are overtly like you're going to make a wrong choice. I think many of you are afraid of making bad decisions, and none of them are going to be wrong or bad. You're just trying out different things in your life, and that's okay. Even if ultimately you don't get the result that you're looking for with where you're headed, it's meant to just teach you that that's a path you will never need to take again. And it like sets you the course for the path you want to be on. So you're never going to choose wrong. And then with the Knight of Wands, I actually think that whatever you're experiencing right now, it's something that is actually going to give you more freedom in the long run. Emotional freedom. I feel like I'm hearing some of you feel like this is just the way that I am. I'm always going to feel this way. I'm always going to be like this. I'm always going to be hurting. I'm always going to be upset about this thing, or this thing is going to follow me around, or bad things always happen to me. And Spirit is saying, no, what you're experiencing right now is meant to actually give you freedom from that. And I say that because we have this like horse very much depicted. And I know all the Knight cards have horses, but this one, I feel like it's like very front and center, and it's being shown more so than the Knight even is. And horses are resemblant of freedom. The animal, the horse itself, it talks a lot about freedom and like gaining freedom in life, and also having like your own creative, intuitive ideas that you get to bring to life and run forward with them. So ultimately, this is setting you up for success in the long run. But for the short term, it might be kind of difficult, whatever you're experiencing, whether it is an actual relationship breakup, or it's cutting off toxic family members, or removing yourself from friendships, or maybe somebody broke up with you, or somebody removed themselves from your life that you felt like you could not live without. And Spirit is saying, no, you're actually becoming more resilient because of this. So, and you didn't do anything to deserve it. We also have Uranus Genius. Love this card. We have Sagittarius, I see. And Gemini, I think. Wow, I just got the chills. Okay, so with Uranus Genius, this to me ultimately is leading you to your genius. This is leading you to possibly even your purpose in life, I'm feeling and seeing and hearing. Like I just got this like, if you didn't know, I am like highly sensitive. I'm a highly sensitive person and also an empath. You can be both or one or the other. There is a difference between them. And oftentimes when I'm reading cards, I will pick up that energy that I'm reading. And I think for some of you, you either also just got the chills, or you also just had this like I feel like I wasn't breathing before. Like all of a sudden I felt like I just needed to take a big deep breath, and I felt it go like, I don't even know how to explain that if you've never felt it, but like it felt like just like this big like gulp of like life force just like hit all the way down into like the bottom of my stomach. And I feel like for many of you, whatever this is, it is creating genius in you. It is allowing you to solve a problem in the world that many people don't have the answer to. And it's something that will give you this like genius momentum in life. And it's something that I'm not saying you're going to like build a career around it. For some of you, that could be the case, but it's going to allow you to have like more opportunity in life, because of this, that like this is truly setting you up for success, and it's changing the way that you see and the way that you think about other people and situations, because Sagittarius rules higher knowledge, higher learning. So this to me really goes back to that emotional intelligence that I was talking about. I don't look at Sagittarius as being an overtly emotional sign, but they do tend to have a lot of higher wisdom. And this to me gets into the realm of psychology and especially philosophy. So I feel like that's really what's happening right now, is your consciousness is being expanded. And with Gemini, I think these signs are each other's opposite sign. Sagittarius and Gemini sit opposite each other in the zodiac wheel. And so they kind of, to me, really complement each other. Like they are each other's opposite, and that can cause a lot of misalignment. But I feel like if we look at the parts that are really great about Sagittarius and Gemini, when you can bring them together, it's magic. This is why when we talk about like Rahu and Ketu in Vedic astrology, Rahu and Ketu represent the dragon's head and the dragon's tail, and everybody has this placement in their birth charts. And with Rahu and Ketu, it's the dragon's head eating its own tail. But when you can actually find the balance between these two energies, because they're always opposite, wherever your Rahu is, your Ketu is going to be in the opposite. If you can find the balance between the two of these, that is your zone of genius. So many of you might even be Rahu, Ketu, or North and South Node in Sagittarius and Gemini. So if you all know anything about astrology, definitely check that out. I don't personally read charts anymore, but that's something that you may want to pay attention to if that's like very specific to your birth charts. But like you are being literally honed for your zone of genius. And it's funny too, I just read a book that talked a lot about this. And I think for some of you, I actually recommended it on the channel. It's called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks or Hendrickson. I'll link it down below for you if you're interested. But they talk a lot about this idea of being in your zone of genius, how like you can be in your zone of excellence your whole life, doing things that make you happy and they're good for you, but they don't like, it's not your highest peak. It's not you lose time when you do this thing because it's so phenomenally exciting to you. And like time stands still when you do it because it's like, that's your zone of genius. And it can be in a multitude of things. It doesn't even have to be like something you create necessarily. But I feel like ultimately the experiences you're going through, Spirit wants you to know you're being honed for your zone of genius. And honestly, I'm jealous. I wish I felt like I knew. I don't know what my zone of genius is. I'm not there yet. I'm hoping this whole Saturn return for me is going to bring that in. So for you, we also have community. We have TikTok. Oh my gosh, I was just talking about time. And time for a nap. That's so funny. Oh my goodness. Okay, so with community, this might be something that you will build a community around. This might be something that you will go forth and make something with. I don't want to get too specific. It's honestly kind of hard to read specifics because thousands of people watch this video and that's all the energy I'm connecting to and channeling in. So I try not to, like if I hear something really specific from Spirit, I will bring it out, but it's hard to get super specific. So with community though, this to me says that like this could change like your families, your communities, or you could build something new around this that will create a community of people. They always say that or I've heard it said rather, that when you can't find your tribe, it means that it's time for you to create one. And I don't know if you can see this flame, but it is huge. Like, I don't even, like, that's a big flame in comparison to like other candle flames that we've done on the channel. This one is gigantic. So Spirit is really, and it's very like steady and there's not like a lot of flicker happening to it, which to me says like, yes, this is like a very big confirmation of like, listen to what is being said because it is important. And that's not me tooting my own horn. I'm not here for me. I'm here because Spirit wants me to be here. So with community though, this is something that could change community, like could change what you do. And I hate that phrase, what you do, because it doesn't even have to be a day job. It's just, it has the potential to create something that hasn't been created before. With TikTok, I was just talking about how like you'll lose time doing whatever this is. You'll lose time so much that time, and in that, I think many of you maybe will be interested in that book because it keeps coming out. But in that same book that I was just talking about, the author talks a lot about how with time, when you get into your zone of genius, time runs differently. Like and this might sound nuts to people that are like, no, there are 24 hours in a day. We all have the same amount of time. But that is all about Einstein's time and how like Einstein talked about and theorized time when no, I'm sorry. I'm getting it mixed up. That's Newtonian time, which is like what we as a society set our time up on. And Einstein time is where like you just need to let things flow to you naturally, and you'll see how much more time you actually have in a day. Like it seems like time has the ability to pass slower when you're in that zone of genius. And then time for a nap. Spirit really wants you to know that whatever you're stepping into with this, and I would love to hear more about it down below if there's something that you feel like it could be. Spirit wants you to know that you're not going to have to work hard for it, because many people think like, oh, if I'm going to start this business line, or if I'm going to do this, or if I'm going to go after this promotion, or I'm going to, whatever it is you're wanting to create or write this book, it's going to be so much hard work. And Spirit wants you to know that when it's your zone of genius, it will never be hard work. You will have all the time in the world to take a nap and do what you need to do to make you feel good. It won't be hard work. Excuse me. And then lastly, we have unlikely and we have no. So Spirit also wants you to know that this might even be something that isn't fully formed yet. Like if you have an idea, it could be partially it, but it's not the whole idea. It's still coming to you right now. And with the word no, this to me is about like releasing your resistance to whatever comes, because whatever you're in resistance to is kind of what sticks around. And Spirit is saying, if you're like saying no, like Spirit is saying like, let me in. Like literally, even in this card, we have this like beautiful spirit guide or angel coming through to this person, but they're kind of far away from them. And I'm just reading this intuitively. I'm not like, I don't go by books and stuff from cards, but with Spirit trying to come in, it's almost like you're saying no. Like you're afraid of the next heartbreak. You're afraid of the setback, that it's going to take too much time. And Spirit is saying, no, this is highly unlikely. Like you have the potential and the power to make this work for you and not against you. And it might be something you've never experienced before, so it's hard to even conceptualize that it could work. But Spirit is saying, please, let me guide, let me help, let me step forward, let me in, and we can work on it together. Especially with like that Three of Swords, I feel like is just very significant to this reading. Like that Three of Swords, I feel like many of you are very scared to allow yourself even to be open enough to have this come in. And Spirit is saying, please just try. Let's just take some time to even think about it. And I hope whatever this thing is like something that's just really beautiful for you. I think you have the potential. You have multiple potentials especially when we see that wild card come out, you have multiple potentials. And now is your time to really evaluate what that is. And it's going to come, whatever it is. So that's what I have for you, pile number 2. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love you so much. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram, TikTok. I also have my Twitch channel, which we're doing something new on Twitch. I know we were streaming this month, but I put it on Twitter and then I deactivated my Twitter. So I will make like a formal announcement here at some point with what we're doing with Twitch. I think everyone on this channel will actually appreciate it more because it's more in line with like astrology and tarot card reading and stuff like that. So I'll let you know more on that soon. Just make sure you follow the page if you want to see more of that. And there was something else I wanted to say before I closed off here. Oh, I deactivated my Twitter. I don't know that I'm going to be coming back to it. I find that Twitter is just a bit too abrasive for me. Nothing happened, it was all fine and dandy for me, but I just find that my mental clarity, like I just cannot mess with Twitter. It's too heavy for me. If you didn't know, social media outlets actually have birth charts, and Twitter is an Aries. And though I love Aries people, like literally, if I ever have a child, I hope they are in Aries. I love Aries people. It's just, it can be very like aggressive and abrasive. And to my highly sensitive self, sometimes the app is just too much for me. So I don't currently have Twitter anymore, so you can't follow me on Twitter at this time. I don't know that I will ever open it back up. Right now, it's just kind of sitting there closed. But you can still follow me on TikTok, on Instagram, on Twitch, and obviously here, if you like more of this, make sure you subscribe to see more content like it. I link all the cards down below for you if you're interested in getting any of these decks for yourself. And if the reading resonated and you feel called to do so, I do have my Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal listed down below. It is never an expectation, but always appreciated. And please do not forget, when you stand up in your own authenticity, you empower everyone around you to do the same. I love you all so much, and I will speak to you again soon. Hello, my beautiful pile number 3s, and welcome into your reading. If you chose this pile, you chose the yellow candle. Yellow actually represents communication, as it is the color that often represents air. So I like to use yellow candles for communication. Sometimes I feel like they can also they can stand in for orange if you don't have orange. I will use a yellow candle sometimes for like ambition, things like that, but usually ambition in like a creative pursuit. It also can stand in for personal power, as it corresponds to the solar plexus chakra. And yellow to me also is a color that I would use it for Gemini. But really, because it also represents air, you could go with all air signs, which are going to be Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. So you could be one of those, or you could be wanting to attract one, or maybe you just want your communication to be a little bit more pointed, or maybe you want to have a little bit more of a direct approach, and you need some assistance with communicating. You don't have to go with any of the things that I just suggested. You can set intention for whatever you want, but go ahead and put your left and right hands over your heart space. And I don't know if any of you even care about this. I don't know why I even do this. I don't get this from anyone, but I've been putting my hands over my heart like this. Like I grasp this hand and then this hand is flat against my heart. I think it's kind of like a representation of like holding my own hand. I don't know. I think it really adds something to it. Watch it be like some kind of hand code that like I don't even know about. But it just feels correct for me. But you can put your hands however you want to over your heart space. The reason that we do this is because your heart chakra is right there, and so is your heart. And what we know is that humans, the highest vibration they can attune themselves to, or we can attune ourselves to, I'm speaking like I'm not human, that we can attune ourselves to is the vibration and the frequency of love. So when we do this, we are putting ourselves in the perfect alignment with our intentions to come in, and for them to come in quicker. So because you are in that perfect alignment, they'll come in faster. So go ahead and choose something that you want to set intention for, and let's take a big deep belly breath in through the nose and out through the mouth together. All right, I'm going to go ahead and light this for us, and we'll see what we get. Ooh, very nice. I feel like this is a very strong flame. Like it got big relatively quickly. And it's continuing to grow. Like it's just getting bigger as I'm talking. So I feel like many of you maybe have not been speaking your truth, and now is the time, or maybe you have, and Spirit wants you to know, like, keep doing that. Keep speaking your truth. Keep saying like the things that you feel are the most important to you, because ultimately that's why you came here, was to live in your truth. So, this is like a really good indication also that whatever you've asked for will come in relatively quickly. The flame has kind of since gone down a little bit more, but it did really start off strong. And I always like seeing that. I feel like that's a strong indication. So we're going to go ahead and put this up here in the corner, and then let's get into our cards. So, ooh la la, we do have the star card, and I'm going to kind of show these to you like this first before I set them down, because these cards have gold foiling on them, which is very beautiful. And this is like one of my favorite decks, but they're kind of hard to see. So we do have the star card, which is not a romantic card, but it's just one of my personal favorites. So I was very excited to see it. We also have temperance here for you. Beautiful. And then we also have the page of swords. And we have the four of wands. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. So what Spirit is saying to me is that many of you actually have the ability to become like possibly even famous for the way that you speak. There is something about like your voice, and maybe you've even been told that like you have a nice voice, or your voice is really powerful, or maybe you just have a way with words, but your voice has the ability to bring you star power, like fame and star power, and actually be like a big part of your purpose in this life is to use your voice. And I'm saying that because our candle really talked a lot about communication. And the star to me is like my famous card. It always talks, and it doesn't have to be like, it could be as big as like a pop sensation music artist or something like that. But it could also be just even being like a therapist and being really well known, being a YouTuber and being really well known. But it's like this level of attention, like people are going to notice what you say. And I think it's ultimately because you have this beautiful balance of having like a very calming voice. To me, when we see temperance and talking about the voice, this is like your voice is very calming to people. And again, you've probably heard someone say that to you before. You have like a very calming voice, a calming presence, but you also have the ability to say what you need to say, because the Page of Swords can sometimes be like an immature speaker, like somebody who doesn't really think before they speak. But because you have this rounded out with temperance, I actually feel like you do think before you speak. And it's beautiful because this actually is more of like you're like also funny. Like people resonate with the things that you say because it's very well thought out and it's funny. Like you have the ability to make people laugh. And that's like how I would interpret like these coming out together is like, if there is any like immaturity, it's more in you just have this way of making people laugh and kind of come out of their shell. And that is a skill. Like not everybody has the gift of gab. Not everybody can just sit and talk to like anybody that comes across their path. So the Page of Swords and temperance though, like beautiful. And then with the Four of Wands, this to me, yes, it talks a lot about having like a very solid foundation on which to build yourself on, but it also talks a lot about like building your castle, building your home, having recognition as well, and celebrating that, being celebrated for this gift that you have. And if it's not like your voice, maybe you don't feel like your voice is so like beautiful, your words are extremely powerful. Like you using your words and your voice and your like that self-power that you really carry is going to take you so far. And Spirit really wants you to pay attention to that in the coming months. So we also have North Node life purpose. We have Mercury mind, and we have the 7th house in partners. So with the North Node, this is a lot about following your true north. And I talked about this a little bit in pile number 2 with like Rahu and Ketu, which is like the North and South Node. This is about like really finding the bridge between where you've come from and where you want to go in this lifetime, bridging the gap and existing there. So some of you might have a north or south node in Virgo or Gemini. Those are the two Mercury ruled signs. You don't have to be either of those. You could also just have major Gemini or major Virgo energy in your charts, or just a very significant Mercury placement. I myself am a Mercury in Aries, and I have to tell you, I personally know that I have the gift of gab. I can talk to anyone forever at any length of time. I know that not everybody possesses that, but you, I feel like, are somebody that also does. And it could also be in written form. I'm hearing if maybe you're someone that doesn't like to talk a lot, but you have a way with words inwardly. You don't have to express them by speaking. You can express those words on paper as well. And with seventh house partners, this to me is very much about, it's it could be an actual romantic partner, but I don't really see the seventh house that way. I mean, yes, that's part of it, but oftentimes it really talks about having a business partner or a friendship or some kind of partnership that is going to come along and really help you expand on this. It's like a partner of destiny is what I'm pulling out when we have the seventh house and the north node together. It's like a partner of destiny that is going to help bring this out in you, or you're going to meet them because of this gift that you possess. So with Mercury mind though, I love Mercury energy, to be honest. We love somebody who's good with words. We love a wordsmith. But I feel like you're also somebody that your mind just works very quickly. This also is indicative of having a lot of Gemini energy in your birth charts. Gemini is very fast paced in the mind, and honest, it can lead to being very I almost want to say it can lead to being very worried a lot, or very stressed out a lot, because you're just moving so quickly, faster than people around you. Mentally, you're processing so much faster that with that Mercury mind card, just spirit wants you to know, it's okay to take it easy sometimes. It's okay to chill out and do your Sudoku and do something that's good for your mind, but you don't always have to be on catering to everybody else. You don't always have to be on the phone talking to everybody else. You don't always have to be chatting with everybody else. It's okay to slow down and do things that make you feel good in the mind. So we also have To Be Fair. We have Why. And we have Treasure Island. So To Be Fair coming out on the seventh house. This is really interesting to me because the seventh house is the house of Libra, and Libra is the balancing sign. That's their symbol is the balance scale. And To Be Fair is the balancing card. It is a balance scale. I don't know how well you can see. It might be kind of blurry, but there's a balancing scale on that card. So this to me is about finding balance in your life. Maybe many of you have felt that Mercury mind stress of you feel you always have to be communicating, or all your friendships are going to walk away, or your family members are going to walk away, and you can't take time for you. And ultimately creating more balance in your life and how you choose to communicate is going to help you right now. Spirit wants you to take control of that. And with Mercury mind and Why, you're somebody that will never stop asking why. You're someone that literally you question everything, and Spirit wants you to know that this is a good thing. Don't ever become complacent. Don't let people be oh my gosh, do you ever just stop? No, always question, even your own morals, your own everything that you've ever been taught. It's a gift to question that, and to have the ability to question it, and to have that conscious awareness that it doesn't always have to be how people say. Don't let people put you in a box. Always question the box. Always question the labels. Never stop asking why. And it's going to lead you to your truth. I feel a part of your life's purpose, pile number 3, is that you are somebody that is meant to go searching for your truth. Like you try to base your truth off of things that other people tell you or off of things that you learn, when in reality, you're somebody that really needs to live by your own truth and your own whys. And everybody to an extent needs this, but I feel like for you, it's very eclectic. Like you might collect different belief systems from all over the place and kind of mash up your own. And that's okay. That's valuable. We need more people like you in the world. And with Treasure Island, I love this card because it comes up. I've seen this card multiple times actually in readings on my channel, but I love this card because it talks about treasure being found where you would least expect it to be, like going to an old bookstore and like picking out this random old book and just finding something so valuable in it. Or, doing something that like deviates from your normal day-to-day path is what I'm really hearing. Like something that really deviates from your normal path and allows you to get in touch with something that you don't normally pay attention to. So if there's something in your routine that you've been wanting to change, or like maybe you're somebody that really likes like hiking or getting out of your space, like try a different trail, try a different area, try doing something different, doing it a new way. Spirit wants you to experience life in a different way. And it's not the norm. Like you're somebody that beats to your own drum. And we also have opportunity for you, and we have if you believe. So with both of these cards, opportunity is like your golden opportunities are going to come when you start sharing the ways that you think. You don't think like everybody else. And you have something important that you are meant to share. And it doesn't mean, like for some of you, it will be on that grand scale because we have that star card present, that famous card, right? Some of you, it will be like a grand mission. But for some of you, it also could just be in your families and in your communities. And you'll know, like, if you feel that what I'm saying is like pulling at your heartstrings, or you feel that like energy build coming up through the spine, you'll know if it's something that's meant to like go way, way out, or if it's supposed to be a little closer, tight knit in the heart in the community that you're in. But ultimately, golden opportunities will arise from this. And if the only thing you have to do is believe in yourself. There is no, oh, but if I do it like this person, then it's going to be correct. Or if I do it this way and follow this model, I'm going to do it right. There is none of that for you. Your ability to succeed is all about you. It's about how much you believe in your ability to succeed and find opportunity. So that is what I have for you, pile number 3. I hope this reading resonates with you. Please let me know down below. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram, on TikTok, and on Twitch. We're actually redoing what we were planning on Twitch. There will be more on that soon, but definitely follow the page if you're interested. I do feel like everyone on this channel is really going to benefit from Twitch because I'm going to be moving more into like stuff that has to do with like tarot and astrology over there versus so much gameplay. So definitely make sure you head over there. I'm hoping to roll that new thing out, make an announcement within the next like month, possibly 2 months. And also, please know that I have deactivated my Twitter. Twitter is just not a place that I want to currently exist. I feel like the Twitter, if you didn't know, you can actually read birth charts of social medias, and Twitter is an Aries, though I love Aries people. Literally, if I ever have a child, I hope I get an Aries or somebody with like really Aries dominant placements. I love the energy of Aries. But when it comes to social media, I feel like sometimes when you're highly sensitive, it can be kind of rough, and nothing happened. Literally, like it wasn't like something like blew up over there. I just really felt internally that it's a platform I don't really want to spend my time on right now, because it was like the doom scrolling was real. And to take care of my mental health, I wanted to kind of put distance between me and that. So you can't follow me on Twitter right now. I don't know that I will ever open the account again. I just have it deactivated right now. But there are other platforms: Instagram, TikTok, Twitch. And I think that's everything I wanted to share about that. If you like any of the decks that you see here, they will be listed in the order they appear down below. And if you feel called to do so, it is never an expectation, but always appreciated. I have my Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal listed down below for you. If you would like to tip me for my readings, I always appreciate it. And please do not forget, when you stand up in your authenticity, you empower everyone around you to do the same. I love you so much, and I will speak to you again soon. Bye.